bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
Hey, thanks, Guppy. Let me know how the audio sounds since we've got the new microphone arm, and so everything's repositioned now. This will be a little bit of an experiment stream. Sounds more crispy. Awesome. Well, it helps whenever the microphone's not 30 feet from my face. Yo, hey, Killer, what's up, dude? Got that Daddy Blaise voice. Feel like as I'm listening to it in the headphones, I feel like I'm more like a radio announcer now. Okay. Gotta notice that YouTube wasn't behaving all that well, but it seems like it's doing okay. Let me restart YouTube real quick. YouTube's looking okay. I'm seeing the bit rate keep fluctuating on YouTube, so hopefully it will be all right. Looks like it's stuttering a little bit. I mean, though, even Twitch is saying it's unstable, but at the same time, I'm seeing 0 dropped frames, so I'm not sure what it's doing. All good on the YouTube side? Thank you so much, Agent 57. Appreciate it, man. Missed you guys last night, but I needed to go check on Mama Bits, make sure she was doing okay, and that kind of has to take priority over the live stream. I appreciate it. I actually, guys, I will stream tomorrow night. I know I've been missing a lot of streams lately, and I feel very badly about it. So we'll do a makeup stream tomorrow night. We'll get some more hacks on. All right, let's kick it off. Let's see if everything's going to work. I went through and did some testing. This is going to be a little bit of a test stream. Let's see what happens. Ooh. All right, everything's looking crispy so far. Oh, wait. Hang on before I turn the camera on. Socks here. One sec. Okay, hang on. Let me get the camera going. Okay, let's see. Hey, protagonist, thanks for coming online, man. Okay, so the first issue here is that the camera button didn't work. Hang on one second. Let me check this real quick. Okay, that should be cam transparent. Stand by. Let me troubleshoot this real quick. In fact, hang on. Let me power on the lab. We're going to keep going through Bitstream and working on that a little bit. So let me start that up. We can get that started while I'm troubleshooting. Okay, so what's going on here? That's going to camera. Okay, let's deactivate that one. Properties. Activate. Bro. For real? Okay. Let me check something over in... Let me check something in the camera hub real quick. We got a few minutes before the range boots up anyway. We need to give it like about 5 minutes. Sorry, I meant to do that before the stream started. Okay, that is suboptimal. 1 second. Let me try turning it off and on again. It's always the key. Yes, pro streamer. Very pro streamer. Okay. I'm hearing USB connecting noises. That's a good sign. Okay, hang on. Let's see. What? Ah, there we go. Nice. Man, but it doesn't have the cool... Hang on. Will that do it? Hang on. I think I need to go out of studio mode. Hang on. Turn that off. Hey, there we go. Looking sharp. Excellent. Check this out. This the new camera is amazing. So, if you didn't see the... I just realized I got the camera, I got the microphone. I have to get used to doing this now. I gotta actually get the microphone back in place. So now the microphone isn't about 30 feet away from me, and the lights went from about yay big to about yay big. So they went from 15 watts to 45 watts. And it's looking at Jesus's teeth in here now. The proper term is chicken lover, Gumby. Also, I don't have to be quite so loud now because the microphone's a lot closer to me. So I went through and I did some tweaking. I did some testing. Let me know how the audio is. Let me know how the video's looking. But the new Elgato 4K camera's up. It's going to help the YouTube videos look a lot crispier too. That was the whole reason for adjusting the lights. So not only are the lights brighter, but the lights are closer too. So if you remember from high school physics, you got the inverse square law, where basically as you move stuff further away, the power of it decreases rapidly. So they're 3 times as bright, and they're about 8 inches closer. And 8 inches can accomplish a lot, if you know what I'm saying. Let me get the VPN pulled up here real quick. I got to make sure we are still... So we had in here... Last thing we left off with, we had gotten through the web server, we had gotten into the SQL server, and actually we were trying to get an Apollo payload running on it. Yeah, that's not what she said, at least not to me. No. Hang on, I gotta rearrange some stuff around the desk. The office is a bit of a disaster right now. Even more so than usual. Let's see, what's the SQL server? 10017. So there was our Apollo SQL payload getting downloaded. It just wasn't calling back for some reason. Let me see if I can ping that real quick. 10.0.1.7. But you know what? That machine may not even respond to pings now that I think about it. Hang on. Let's see. I wonder if I can just get it to run this again. Let me see. I think a SQL client is just like, what did you even do, bro? Hang on. I don't know if I have a copy of the payload here. Let me copy this real quick. Copy. Let me just save a copy of that real quick, because we're going to need to bust out of here. Hey, there we go. Okay. Now we should be able to just get our shell back real quick here. Oh, you know what? I bet.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.
You just said I was sounding crispy, so I know you're lying. Wait, cam froze? Damn it! Hang on. Hang on. I think this was the same issue we were having with the face cam. So hang on. Stand by. I'm going to try swapping the ports again. Doing a quick bit of rewire here. The lights melted the camera. I hope not, man. Also, what's up, Bobby? Okay, hang on. Let me try restarting the camera real quick here. Let me back to studio mode. Camera. Let's deactivate and reactivate. Okay, cool. We'll see if it survives. Hopefully it did, because that was the same thing it was doing with the old Elgato. This guy right here. This little fella. And so I don't know why. I was feeling froggy, so I put it back to the original port configuration, even though there shouldn't be any difference between the two of them. Whatever. So now we're back. Okay. Let's see. What's up? Not much, man. We're just going to... I want to dive back into working on this... What was it called? Bitstream? Yeah, Bitstream range from HackSmarter. Because I'm having a lot of fun with it. It was nice to get back into some of this Active Directory work. I haven't really been doing a lot of traditional penetration tests for, gosh, like 6 months now. I've been doing a lot of research and other work and coursework development. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. I just noticed something. I think this is... I just noticed the video feed is frozen, though. That is suboptimal as well. What was going on here? Oh, I bet it froze whenever I swapped the cables. Hang on. Okay, so why is that not working? Okay, so now something else broke. Damn it. Okay, stand by, guys. My bad. My bad. Hang on, let me go find it real quick. Let me try turning that off. Turn it back on. Hey, there we go. I'm a pro streamer happening here. That's right. Yeah, we do need the video stream. I don't want it to just be radio. Radio Active Directory pen testing is suboptimal. Let's call it that. Okay, now we're back. Y'all can actually see what's happening. Cool. So we got through the web server. We were tinkering with the SQL server, but the SQL server, it was kind of a little bit of a beatdown. I don't know what was going on with that Mythic payload. So one thing we actually need to go check is, let's go back over to here. Let's see. What is it to show? Is it interface? Crap. I don't ever remember what the command is, real quick. Let's see. Stop. Hang on. All the new commands, I just don't know what they are. I gotta remember what it is to show a particular interface in here. Is it show interface? Ah, okay. So it was that. For some reason, I thought it was more complicated than that, from what I just remember. There we go. We'll just look at this. Okay, because this one, our internet address, our IP address is 211.2, and I don't remember what it was from the last time we worked on this. Let me get this going again. One thing we'll need to do is, I think I still have rev shells up, where we generated the reverse shell. No, there it is right there. Yeah, 211.2 on port 9001. Okay, so that command should have worked. Let's go fire it again real quick. Let's see if we get our reverse shell back here. Hey, there we go. Now we're cooking with propane. All right. Well, let's come over to... Where did we do that? We downloaded that somewhere. You know, actually, hold on. What flags were we even supposed to get for this lab? Hang on. Let me go double check real quick. Let's see. So on MySQL, what MySQL module allows us to run commands? Oh, that's XP command tree. No, crap, I just did it. What is it? XP command shell. Yeah, that's it. XP command tree. That's a is it command tree? There's another one in there, basically like dir tree. You can use it whenever you're doing like remote UNC path enumeration, and it's actually really good for doing man-in-the-middle attacks, because what you can do is you could use that to point to a UNC path that's you, and then you could relay that to another target. All right, what is Bob's password? That's the next one we want. Well, let's go see if we can find it real quick. Let's go see if we can look in Bob's stuff in here. Let's see. There's nothing in... We might not actually have permission to look in Bob's stuff. Let's see. Who am I? Yeah, so we're running a SQL Express in here. So after we get this, not a bad thing to do, but what we might need to do now is upgrade our shell to an administrator session. So I do want to see if we can figure out what was going on with this mythic payload in here. So let me look at something real quick. Let's view our payload configuration real quick. So what do we have in here? Where is our callback IP address? 192.168.211.2. So yeah, that should be good. So LS in PowerShell land here actually doesn't. It's like it's just an alias for get content. And so, is it get content? Yeah, but LS in PowerShell is just an alias. It's not an actual command in PowerShell. So, do dir all. Yeah. Oh wait. So you see LS is working here, right? If I do dir, we get the same thing in here. So if we go into Bob, we do a dir. Dir all, nothing in here. Will LSLA actually work? No. I'm pretty sure if you put in like a fake command in here, it's not capturing it because it's only capturing standard out. It's not capturing standard error. This is a really dumb shell in here. We could use something else to go get us a better shell if we wanted to, but I really would like to figure out why. I want to figure out why that command wasn't working. Let me check something real quick. So we had everything going on in here. We had some notes happening. So that was our SQL server and our password. We had this right here. Hang on. Did I have... Hang on. I need to go into OPSEC mode real quick. Because I had to reboot the computer. Okay, I didn't have any notes stored in there. Never mind. This is just odd. There's nothing under Bob at all. I know, right? We could probably go... There's probably... So it's not a standard Windows configuration anymore. It used to be, where what would happen is there would be a clear text copy of the data stored in memory in the LSAS process. So if you could dump the LSAS process, there were times when you could actually go get the clear text. Damn, what was that called? I'm drawing a blank on it. W something. Hang on. I can't believe I've forgotten what that was. I thought something you think you'd never forget. W Digest. Thank you. Yes, it was the W Digest, Bobby. So they might have turned W Digest on in here. So that might have been like where they're expecting us to go get Bob's password. If it was just stored in the database, which I doubt it, we probably could have gone through our through the database to go find it. But given how we've already got a shell on the system, I don't think that's where we're wanting to go because it's asking for Bob specifically. His password in the database could be different. So let's see here. 192.168.211 should be calling back on port 80. Let me try something real quick. Yeah, but we got kind of a dumb shell in here where we're not capturing the standard in or the standard out. Not such a big deal, but it does make troubleshooting this a little bit differently. Let's see. I gotta remember, what was that we had a download exec command also. Let me pick that up real quick. Also, by the way, guys, sorry, we were troubleshooting in the beginning of the stream. I forgot to tell everybody. I hope y'all are having a super awesome Sunday. I had a really chill one for a change. It was super chill. After checking on my mom last night, I took my mom and my aunt and the kids and Sock to go out to eat for lunch. There's a barbecue chain here in Texas. I don't know how far it reaches, but it's called Spring Creek Barbecue. Took him there. Honey Badger freaking loves it. So, mom is doing fine, by the way. So, the issue is my brother was out of town. So, there wasn't anybody immediately there to keep an eye on her. So, I went to go keep an eye on her. And so, that was the whole deal with it. So, she's fine, thankfully. Everything was good. I ended up spending the night over there and just kind of linked up back with the family in the morning. But, so, Sock and I took the kids to Spring Creek Barbecue, and we just don't take them out very often. So it was really funny. Like, Honey Badger was just having the time of his life. He's like, you mean I can have brisket and macaroni and cheese? Hell yeah. So that's what he got. And then Agent Zero was like looking around like, this place is fancy. I was like, it's a barbecue joint, buddy. It's not fancy. And then a couple days later, after that, Honey Badger goes up to Sock and he's like, Mommy, I want to go back to Ribs. He calls the place Ribs. He's like, I'm very hungry. I want 2 ribs. He's like, and a little cup of macaroni. Actually, I want 3 little cups of macaroni. And ice cream. He just kept growing as he went through with it. It was pretty damn funny. Let's see. I work on my CIS 235 class, Intro to Databases Programming and Use of AI. Cool. Very cool stuff, man. I'm actually very happy to be working on something that's not AI right now. In fact, the next video I've got coming up for YouTube is AI related, so I'm actually really happy about that as well. I was like, God, it just dominates everything. I'd like to occasionally get off of that topic. Let's see. I can't believe... Hang on, I have all my commands that I did up here. Let me go look at something real quick. Oh, actually, hang on. Yes, I did have this in here. There we are. Yeah, there's our command. That was our download exec command in here. So let me put a note in here. Download exec in PowerShell. There we go. Let me put a note in here because I completely whiffed on, like, I saw this command and forgot what it was actually doing. Okay, so this should drop it over into here. Let me CD over to that. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so that's where we're at. Hey, a.exe is actually still there. So, I don't get why that was not calling back. You know what? The only thing I can think of is maybe the version of .NET that it needs is not available, because Apollo is a .NET based implant. Maybe there's a version problem with it where it's just not running. Everyone's so burned out on AI, myself included. Oh yeah, man. And I find it really interesting. I just don't want it to be the only all-encompassing, all-consuming thing, right? I like working with it. I use it every day. Occasionally, though, I would like to have something that's not a freaking, you know, AI story happening. New lights are looking crispy. Thanks, man. Dude, I'm actually really happy with the way the setup worked out. We did have one issue earlier, but I knew what it was. I just had to swap some cables around on the streaming computer, and everything was coming back. So I've got it. The good thing is it's actually going in like genuine like 4K. So I'm able to like actually zoom in the picture. The camera's looking a lot cleaner. The colors aren't looking quite so washed out. Doing Mythic stuff. Trying to, man. I think I wanted to run this Apollo executable, but I think we might, unfortunately, for some reason, this Apollo executable is just not having a good time when we run it on that system. So without going in, like having another Windows system where I could go run it and test it, that's the hard part in here. Let me try something real quick. Let me check something real fast in here, because I do like doing Mythic stuff in here. Let's go back over to our C2 profile. Let us go check the configuration real quick.
load up this one. Yeah, 192.168.211.2. That is our correct IP address. We should be coming back on HTTP to that. That's all fine. Port 80 should be good. Let's double check that we have port 80 actually exposed up in here. So let's do netstat plant grep 80. Let's see. Let me sudo that. Yeah. It overwrote my command. Yeah, so Mythic HTTP is listening on 80, so we should see it coming back. It should be listening on TCP. Oh, so when it does like this, right, it might look a little bit weird. It's grabbed it on IPv6 and IPv4 over here. So it should be working just fine. In fact, if we just try to curl that, right? Like if I just do like foobar. We should, if we go into the Mythic instance, we should actually see like an error happening in here. Do I see it in here? Hold on, maybe I need to go into, where's our callbacks menu? Interesting. I'm not seeing any errors happening. Anyway, let's go double check this real quick. Our C2 profile looks like it's correct. So if we come down here, this was our one for Bitstream. Calling back here, port 80 should be totally fine. Kill date, that's 2027. That should be fine too. So everything looks correct. Let's see. Output type, Windows executable. Let's see. Debug off. Let's see. Enable keyring. Not concerned about that yet. That's a new feature. Let me try something real quick. Maybe there is something different with it. So, output type, shellcode, service, or source. We want the executable. We do not want the debug build. Don't care about the keyring. I don't think we can... Okay, so this is using .NET 4.0. Let me see. Let's double check this system real quick. Just to make sure, we should be running the appropriate version of .NET for it. It also could be that it's just the Mythic beta, and I doubt, though, that I have found some kind of weird new issue. And the only reason I say that is because Mythic and specifically the Apollo agent are Cody's babies, right? He works on them constantly. If it had been something as simple as like a callback wasn't working with the C2 profile and Apollo, he would have noticed that immediately. So, hey Panda, what's up? Happy Sunday. Okay, let me check something real quick. We should be good on here. Hold on, I'm going to run this PowerShell command here. See if it'll actually run. Okay, yeah, so we're running 4.0 and up in here. So what this was doing is it was checking the HKLM setup, looking for it to see like which versions of PowerShell are, or not PowerShell, which versions of .NET are supported. We should be good there. Let's see. \a.exe. It's running it. Like you see, it's hung right here, right? Well, now it's working. Did I forget to put like the dot backslash in here? Was that what I forgot last time? Because if so, I'm gonna feel like an absolute idiot. Let's see. Who am I? Boop. Awesome. We are, well, we don't know who we are yet because it's the sleep time is weird. Sleep for 10. Let's drop the sleep timer down. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, I think honestly, guys, last time when we were doing this, I think I forgot the dot backslash. And if that's the case, I'm going to feel like such an idiot. So who am I? We see we're running as MySQL SQL Express. Our sleep timer's been updated. Okay, sick. So now what we want to do is we're going to look for some kind of privilege escalation opportunity on this so we can get Bob's password. In fact, let's do something real quick. I was going to do an ls command real quick. Cool, we're seeing our file browser happening. And then let's do this. Let's come over here. Go to browsers. Let's go to file browser because Cody made some big updates to the file browser as well. Let's reload this. There we go. And let's go into users. Collect. And then let's go back into Bob here. Let's see if we can see anything in Bob's. Oh, here we go. What kind of error did we get? Failed to parse information on directory Bob. Access to the path user Bob is denied. Aha. Aha. I found a QA thread I was on this one. I don't remember it well, though. Oh, gotcha. Do you? Oh, sorry. Let me catch up on this show. Let's see. Do you guys mostly use Mythic or do you use Cobalt Strike a bit too? We still use a mixture of the two. I personally, every opportunity I get, will choose to use Mythic over Cobalt Strike. I will use Cobalt Strike if I need certain criteria to be met, like maybe for stealthiness and whatnot, because even though Cobalt Strike is a lot less operator friendly, and what I mean by that is Cobalt Strike it's very cool and it's very feature rich, but if you're trying to actually like track telemetry and keep an idea of like what you were doing and when, you've got to add so much overhead to Cobalt Strike just to like have an audit log of what you did during the assessment. So we have all that in place. It's just not nearly as handy as Mythic. I love Mythic. It is my faves. All right, so what we need to do now is let's check. We want to check a couple of things and see like what we've got in there. Oh, hey, Pop Dad, thanks for following, man. Appreciate it. I apologize that the alerts are not set up for Kick yet. That is on the to-do list. Hang on, where's my pen? What should happen, Pop, whenever you do that, is it should play like a little dial-up sound. So I'm gonna beatbox one for you. There you go. Thanks for coming online, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, eventually I will get those going, Pop. It's been a minute though. Nailed it. Thank you. Appreciate it. That was the sound of my childhood right there. 56K. Let's see. So what do we want to do on this system? So we got a couple of things we can double check. We could go check our services in here. In fact, I wonder if he's added any new commands to the updated version of Apollo. Let's see. What do we want to look at? Get privs, get system, if config. Let's see. I don't think he has like a local list services in here, which is fine, because one thing we could go do is we could go grab a copy of Seatbelt or something and just throw it up in there. Seatbelt will list all the services for us. Let's see. Steal tokens. We're not to that point yet. Upload. Okay. Let's go do that real quick. Let's go grab a copy of Les Seatbelt. Is that from Trusted Sec? What is going on with YouTube, man? Hang on, my YouTube folks. Let me modify something real quick here. Yeah, for some reason, YouTube's bitrate is bouncing like wild. Okay, that is looking a lot more stable right now. Okay, YouTube hopefully should be back up in a nice, stable configuration, everyone. There we go. Okay, that is not the seatbelt that I wanted. There we go. Let's grab a copy of this real fast here. Releases. There's no public... Hold on. Oh, for some reason I thought this was a trusted set thing. Okay, you know what? That's fine. What we'll do is we'll just grab a copy of Sharp Collection. Because I know it's got it in there. Let's see. We'll just clone this whole thing down real fast. Let's do that. Let's come over here. And then, where do I want to go? Let's CD to the tools directory. And we'll just clone that down real fast. So if you haven't seen Sharp Collection, guys, by the way, so there's a lot of really cool tools out there that will be like just source code releases. And this will actually come through and it's a pre-compiled C# version of everything. Hey, Fresh, what's up, man? Dude, it's going pretty well. A couple technical issues, troubleshooting aside, because I just revamped the streaming setup. This microphone arm here is new. I have to remember to actually, like, move it towards me. And the camera was acting out because I swapped out and got a higher resolution camera. But everything seems to be, for the most part, pretty smooth, thankfully. Had a really chill weekend. I hope you guys all did, too. Oh my, we have Claude making contributions. Can we still use this? Yeah, we can still use this. All right. We'll have to give it a second to download because there's a lot of deltas in here, and I bet they're chunky. So I found a guy laughing that was selling an Elgato 4K face cam for like half price. Still pretty much brand new. On Facebook Marketplace, so that's what I swapped it out with, and it's working really well, especially since I already had a 1080p Elgato Facecam, so I'm swapping everything around. I think maybe this week I'll get the Peaches cam set up so you can see Peaches down below where she's sleeping. She is currently sleeping under the desk right now. Oh, maybe I shouldn't get cloned the whole thing. Good lord. He doesn't have any... I thought he had release packages in here. Can you download any slower? I swear. I'm just happy this is working. And I was like, I did not want to go bug Cody and then have Cody tell me that it was something really simple. And I'm like, oops, my bad. Let me see if I can find something in here. Yeah, I don't really see it. Other thing we could use is we could go through and also grab a copy. You know what? That's probably not a bad idea. Sharp Collection is a good thing. Let's go grab a copy of, let's see, it's Trusted Sec Situational Awareness Buffs. Let's go grab a copy of those real quick. If I had something set up, I would demo it for you. It's a new side project I had worked on, but it was built for the previous structure of Mythic. So I need to go update it for the new Mythic 4 stuff. So, hey, Hats, what's up, dude? How do you do, fellow feds? That's right. By the way, everybody who's in chat, I hope you read the rules for the chat, but one of the rules is everyone in chat is a Fed. So, congratulations. Just by the very nature of being in the chat, you are now a Fed. Let's see. So I just ordered an OBS bot Tiny 3 Lite. Hold on. Everything's scrolling here. Since I use my webcam for streaming Discord stuff and client meetings alike, so I wanted something that couldn't move around and use different presets and have it physically adjust the camera arm. Oh, nice. Nice. Very cool, man. What are you calling me? Mr. Poolshot, because you, by the very nature of being in the chat, you are now a Fed. So the rules of the chat are basically, don't hack the streaming platforms. That's where I do my work. The second one is everyone in chat is a Fed. And the third rule is... Actually, hold on. I take it back. Gumby just reminded me what the rules are. Don't hack the venue, aka Twitch, Kick, YouTube, things like that. Don't hack other channel members. Everyone in chat is a Fed. And also, don't discuss anything illegal. See rule number 3. And then rule number 5 is be excellent to each other. Just blew my cover. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was grabbing a copy of this. Let me grab a copy of Situational Awareness Buffs while we're at it. Let's see. Is this done yet? Oh, it's taking so long. Why? Why are you being so slow? I blame GitHub. Although GitHub's activity, I saw a really interesting animation talking about it, and their activity has gone up like geometrically ever since coding agents have kind of become a thing. Good thing is, situation awareness buffs downloads really fast. Okay, so we got a couple options here. We could go run something like seatbelt. We can go just use that for doing some quick and dirty enumeration. So the way we do that is we would do execute PE. Actually, we could do execute assembly in here, because execute assembly is meant for, let's see, unmanaged assembly loader into a remote process. Oh wait, no, that's not the right thing I was thinking of. My bad. We can execute PE. We can also, that's for executing that. Execute assembly. There we go. This is for specifically, let's see, assembly inject was the one I was looking at. My bad. So execute assembly, yeah, this is the one that you can use to directly execute a .NET assembly, since Apollo is a .NET one. So what we can do is do execute assembly and do shift tab. That brings up our little modal right here. And let's go do a new assembly, since we don't have any that are currently in here yet. And we'll go into, where was tools? Tools. And then we'll go to Sharp Collection. We'll target the .NET 4.0 x64 version. And let's go get seatbelt. Where's seatbelt? There we go. Open. And now we got to give it like what tasks we want to run. Let's see. Rule number 7, party on, dudes. That's right. Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. There's nothing in the rules about sharing your bank card details, in case anyone wondered if they should. Technically, no. Advised, no. But also, I guess that would fall under, what's that? Rule number 2. Don't hack the other viewers. Let's see. Hang on one sec. I'm trying to remember what that is. Yeah, let's not do that. Please don't. One sec. I'm trying to remember what the command options are for seatbelt, because I just haven't run it in forever. And specifically what I want to do is, let's go check the services real quick. Okay, so it should just be services. Yeah, so let's go do, oh, I lost my mouse. There we go. So the command we want is, we're just going to run services. Let's test that. Let's see what services we got. We could go run seatbelt and just let it go buck wild and return a whole bunch of stuff that we'll have to go data spelunking through. I don't know if I want to do that. If you put your bank card details into chat, they get auto censored. Check this out. No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, no, no. That's how everybody found out my password was Hunter too. Not so much social engineering being hacking. I mean, a lot of people will say, yeah, it is. You're just hacking the person, right? But what somebody would do with that activity, that would constitute a violation of Rule 2. Cursor's looking to host their own GitHub called Origin as a result of all the outages. I mean, it would be nice to have something that was competition to GitHub. I mean, competition has always been better for the consumer. Unless you're a RAM manufacturer, then for some reason competition is bad. All right, so what do we see here? We see some Amazon instances of services. We see cloud formation, SSH agent. Don't quote the old magics to me. I was there when they were sent or written. Yeah, I was probably in that IRC when it was sent. Let's see. We have SSH on here. Okay, so not a whole lot non-Microsofty stuff in here. And chances are we as the SQL service don't have any way to access this. So one other thing we can check is, let's see. Let's go check for schedule tasks in here. Can't hack my credit card details if I post them first. I mean, technically, yes. Let's see. By the way, guys, if you didn't notice, if you didn't know this about Mythic, Mythic exclusively really speaks JSON kind of behind the scenes in here. So whenever I did execute assembly, right, and I brought up the modal, you're so full of crap, monkey. Also, what's up, dude? Let me see here. Let's look for our schedule tasks real quick. Do we see any of those in here? Missing file. Oh, come on. It wasn't a new assembly. Okay, hang on. Execute assembly. Oh, no, yeah, it should be right there. Okay, yeah. Schedule tasks. Task. There we go. Another reason why I really wanted to use Mythic on this too is so I could test drive it, because sometimes just by the very nature of me going and beating these systems up, I find bugs for Cody. And he's like, wow, that's weird. And it's like, yeah, I know, man. Staying cool. Dude, I'm trying to. My very, room temperature IQ self decided that I needed to go mow the lawn today, and when it was 106 outside. So thankfully there was a very nice breeze, but whew, I still felt it. I needed to get the lawn mowed because it just hadn't been mowed in several weeks. My neighbors are looking at me like they're just expecting like a Chevy Pinto on blocks to appear in the front yard, I mean, heck, even right now, it is 9 o'clock at night here in Dallas, and is still 100 degrees. So, yeah, the heat is wild right now. It has not been the hottest summer I remember in terms of like averages, right? Because last summer, we had so many 100 days, right? Like it was 100, 101 for probably, I think, all of July and most of August. It hasn't quite been that bad here, but the peak is pretty bad right now. Like, I think it got up to 106 today. I was like, damn. Did you know it was hot outside? Yes, I did. Yes. I had firsthand verifiable observations of this. All right, so what do we have in here? So we have a server initial task configuration. So these are the scheduled tasks we've got in here right now. Let's see, .NET Framework Gen, .NET, not important. Let's see, .NET. What else do we have? BitLocker. It's funny that BitLocker is running on a VM. Let's see, syspart repair. Not super helpful since it's in here. Now we have a couple things we can deal with in the schedule task. We might have permissions to go modify the task itself, or we might have permissions to go modify the binary. But then we have to realize, okay, we modify the binary, we got to have something that's going to actually trigger it. So we need to be able to trigger it in some way. So what I'm trying to do is just get a little bit of the lay of the land right now. Had pretty insane summer weather where I'm at. Yeah, dude, it's been like a wild El Nino year. Let's see. Device user. Ooh, what is this? Let's see. I really don't want to go decoding SDDLs. Those are a pain. The executable is here. Okay. User logged on. Yeah, that's probably not it. Let's see. Driver recovery on reboot. What else do we have? What do we're on line 453. How many lines is this? Oh, good gravy. That's a lot of services in here. All right. I'm going to take the quickest of runs through this because I'm not sitting here and like micro analyzing for a CTF an 1800 line dump of services in here. Let's see. Hasn't the El Nino not even really started yet? I'm not sure. I thought it usually started during a little bit earlier than this, but I'm not quite sure. All I remember is the last time it came around that summer, it was really hot and really dry because that's when Agent Zero was just starting to like really start riding his quad. And that was a brutal summer for practice. But even that it was not as hot back then as it was this time. Let's see. All right, not really finding a whole lot in here. So typically, if I don't think I have paint up. Flashbang. Not like the flashbangs really bother me with these bright lights I've got in my face. All right, so typically if I was on like an actual penetration test and I wanted to do something like this, what I would do is I would do basically like a self relay in here. And we could try this if you want to. So what we've got is we have our SQL server sitting right here, right? So here's our SQL server. And then I'm just going to collapse everything down to our C2, right? So we have our C2 server here. These two are talking, right? And then we have a domain controller happening here. Let's see. Hey, Jan Sniper, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. I hope you were having an absolutely stupendous Sunday. So what we've got right here, right, is our SQL server. We got our DC right here. One things we could do is through a little bit of a collection of a SOX proxy that would be going this way, right? So we could go set up a SOX proxy. Sorry, the writing is terrible. We could set up a SOX proxy, but we could also set up a reverse port listener right here. And this would then come back over to this guy. So this would be like our reverse port listener right here. Our port here. Boop, boop. Then what we can potentially do is we could actually use something to coerce authentication from the system to, I'll do this in green, to talk to this reverse port right here. We could have this come back over to us. And then, actually, let me do it like this. We could have this come back over to us and then hit something like NTLM relay X, right? NTLM relay X right here. Then we could have this ride back up the SOX proxy out to our DC right here. And then as the DC starts coming back, we could actually have a connection to it. So we could actually man in the middle this system and then go escalate to it. That's one way we could do this. I don't think that's the intended route that Tyler had when, or whoever actually made this lab. Does it tell us who made Bitstream? Hey, Laughing, does it say who actually crafted this particular range? I'm curious now. Let me see. Oh, okay, so it actually does. Yeah, it lists the author here. So this one was made by Tyler. So I don't think that's probably the path that Tyler had in mind with this, but we could do it. Okay, so the El Nino technically started back in February, but it was fully established in early June. Gotcha. I kind of want to do this. Why not? This is the way I would typically go with it if I was on an actual like penetration test, because it's a fun way to do it. Now, it gets a little bit funky here because this is assuming that your C2 and your interface are running on the same system. In this case, actually, we are. Just do it. I want to. God, it's been so long. I need to double check the steps for it, actually. Hang on, let me see if I can find something real quick. Let me see if I can find the actual SOP for it, because it's been so long since I did it. Hang on one sec, guys. I'm looking something up real fast. Though technically I've got Grok looking it up because it's my new default search engine. It just does... Oh, it does a way better job than Google. And all it takes is a little bit of patience. Search is rotted. Dude, it really is, man. I'd never... I mean, honestly, I saw the... You know, I saw the entire birth and fall of Yahoo. And I couldn't imagine that that same scenario was going to happen to Google. Honestly, I couldn't. Google went from best in class to the only thing that ever works now worst in class. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Yeah. So there was one catch to this, which I was trying to remember, which is we need to actually enable the web client in here. And so I need to double check something real fast. I don't think this is in. Let me see. Where is that? Let's see. I already had a copy of Sharp Collection. Man, I'm an idiot. I waited all that time for nothing. Let me see. Let's go to SA. I don't think it has a copy of this in here. No, there's a buff that I want that makes it really simple to start the web client. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see. Buff start web client. Because we do need the web client in here. Ah, here we go. So this one was from the C2 tool collection from Outflank. Yeah. Do they have a release copy of this? No releases. Damn. Okay. Buff. Let me see. Start web client. I might have to just go build this one from source, which is not a big deal. Let's see. So make sure you got min.gw64 installed, source folder, type make, use Cobalt Strike Crypt Manager to ingest the CNA, which I don't think the CNA is very complicated. I don't think it even takes any arguments to it. Let's see. Handle, start web client, arch.o. That's it. Data handle read. Yeah, this shouldn't take any arguments for it. So, okay. Let's go clone this down, and we'll try building it locally. Let's go cd to tools. We'll git clone that. And then, let's see, cd to buff, and then start web client, cd to source, make. There we go. We'll let that build up real quick. Yay, thankfully they've got nice, handy make files in there. So now what we can do is, let's check with web clients actually running. Hang on one second, guys. Sorry, I'm catching up on chat real quick. Feel the same way about Google. Dude, Cypher, it's gotten really trashed here, man. They're literally nerfing search shows how little engineering matters there now. Dude, yeah, Icarus, it's kind of wild, dude. Search team used to be unassailable. It really did, dude. And for as much groundwork as they laid, I'm really surprised that they're not keeping up with the search. Or it could be, I mean, they have monetary, they have, what's the term I'm looking for? They have monetary incentives to make the search work in a particular way, right? And those monetary incentives don't necessarily align with the best search experience, right? So I think that might also be the case of it. It's like they're a little less worried about making a nice search experience with instead, hey, how can we get the most AdSense revenue out of this? It's usually what happens whenever search companies start censoring the results. Yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Also, Pool Shot, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I think I might try to add one more stream onto it, and I just got to figure out how to do it, which is I want to see about adding Twitter into the pool, because there are lots of folks over there, which I find kind of odd because I never watch anybody live stream on X or Twitter, but apparently a lot of people really like it. Let's see. So one thing I want to double check is I want to make sure the web client's actually running. So what the web client does, so whenever Windows needs to go make a call out to something and it needs to use some kind of HTTP, it does it over the web client service. Web client's not on by default. However, you can actually, in a lot of cases, force it to like turn on, right? So what we can do is we can actually just go enable it. That was one of the big things about web client, that it wouldn't necessarily work right away, but it was available to be turned on by like any low-level user. So let me try something real quick. Let's do a shell SC. I think it's SCQC. Yeah. Web client. Let me double check it real quick. Let's make sure if web client's actually running. It shouldn't be running right now. There should be no reason for it to be. Let's see. Specified service doesn't. We don't have web client on here? Oh, maybe this is dead in the water from the get-go. Oh, no, I misspelled web client because I'm an idiot. That's what happened. I did webby client. Now, also, doing it this way with the shell command is the absolute worst way to try and do this. Let's see, is it SC query? Try that. Because, like, in this case, what Apollo's doing, when it does the shell command, it's doing a fork and run on the other side. Yeah, that should have worked. Do we just not have the web client in here? I don't think the Google thing's about revenue. I think it's about trying to influence political outcomes and shaping opinions. So I think that's all social media and search companies are trying to go for now. They're always afraid of getting screwed by juxtaposition. So, for example, coming through and saying like, oh well, hey, they found this thing on Google. It's like, well, shit, Google was just doing its job and it was going and finding information and cataloging it, right? Stuff that's available out on the open internet. So it's not really Google's fault that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So with the new cameras, you had to upgrade the lights, correct? Because I can see you being blasted with light, which I didn't notice a few streams ago. Yes, the lights went from 15-watt tiny lights to 45-watt bigger lights that are actually much closer now. So yeah, the lights got a massive upgrade. Wait, what was the IBM CEO talking about? If you want to stream anime, you got to make sure and enable the Weeb client. Let me try this with PowerShell real quick. PowerShell, let's see, get service. Is it? I think it's capital W. Maybe that's where I've been screwing up. Web client. Maybe it's like that. PowerShell's a little bit more forgiving on capitalization. There's no web. Wait, no way. There's no web client on this machine? Okay, so without web client, hang on, let me do one more. I'm going to do one more sanity check real quick. So we listed all the services on the machine. I think it's services TAC full that will give us the complete list of services. Hang on, I'm scrolling through my notes here. Yeah, TAC full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a TAC full right here. Let me try this. And then what we can do is we can search for web client like in this output. IBM CEO was talking about jobs in the future, like how they'll bid for the lowest paid nurse to do the job. Oh, good God. I don't want the lowest paid. One of the areas I don't want the race to the bottom is in healthcare. For the love of God. Nothing on client. Let's see, at V client. Wow, nothing? Okay, so somehow there's no web client on this system. I've never seen a computer without web client. What version, what OS is this running? You know what? I forgot about this. Cody added a get system command in here. It's kind of like Meterpreter's get system. I forgot about this. Open a handle to win login and duplicate the token. I'm going to try it because it'll just be funny if it works. Hey, Disclosure, what's up, dude? Wait, what happened at the... you talking about the indie race that happened in DC? What happened there? I didn't see anything. All right, get system failed. I kind of expected it to, but I still thought it was going to be funny if it actually worked. Hey, Drew, what's up, dude? By the way, guys, I'm so sorry about missing last night's stream. I put a note up on Twitter and on Discord that I needed to go check on my mom, so I wasn't going to be able to stream last night. I will be streaming tomorrow night. I'm going to do a makeup stream because I know I've been missing plenty of streams recently. I feel really bad about it. So, well, I will be streaming tomorrow night also. I started watching Mr. Robot for the first time. Am I a hacker now? No. Just gonna leave it at that. No. I feel really bad because actually I told my mom to watch Mr. Robot, and my mother is in her 80s now, right? Because she wanted to see like what do you mean? Like, no, I was like I forget what show she was watching. It was something with like really cheesy hacking scenes. I think it might have even been like freaking NCIS, you know, where the guy and the woman are like both typing on the keyboard at the same time. I was like, Mom, that's Hollywood BS. Go watch Mr. Robot. Now, at that time when I told her this was years ago, I had not seen Mr. Robot yet. And she texts me back the next day like, When does he do the hacking? All I've done is seen him do drugs. Oh yeah, not sponsored by Jocko yet. One day, Jocko. One day. So in the indie race, you were talking about how no one was there and how bad the signs were to figure out where to go. Oh, gotcha. Nice relaxing day catching up on Reacher. Dude, that's a great thing. I haven't, I think I only watched up to season 2 on Reacher, and I just haven't gotten around to season 3 yet. Team Andretti won the race. It may be the only race ever. Pretty cool. My favorite thing, actually, so I don't follow Indy, like Formula One or anything like that very closely, but Formula One, my favorite thing is there's a guy who makes these YouTube shorts just cataloging in funny skits all the different ways the teams have found to like legalese and loophole the rules and basically shortcut them and engineer around all the rules they've got. It cracks me up. Someone told me to watch that and I didn't make it very far into for the same reason. Oh, for Mr. Robot? Yeah, Mr. Robot was okay, but it was more like, it wasn't like the super great hacking show that I was hoping it was going to be. But I understand too, because in a lot of respects, if you ever look at like video games, and this is coming from someone who's like, I'm dying to play Cyberpunk 2077. I've been watching so many playthroughs and just completely spoiling the story for myself, and I still want to play it. Hacking in a lot of video games and pop culture is magic. It's another magic system. That's what it is. Because once you start getting down to like the real deep nitty gritty intricacies of like how the computers are working and what you're abusing, it becomes so abstracted from the normal everyday user that it just doesn't make any sense. So in order to make it palatable for people, you basically turn it into like a rules-based magic system. Watch Dogs 2 is pretty fun. You know what? I meant to actually go play Watch Dogs also. I'll add that to the list. Let's see here. So, okay. So where we're at right now with this box is web clients like completely off the box, which surprises me. So we can't do like the relay to self in here. So something else we could potentially do is we could go try like one of the potatoes. That would be a nice simple way to do this. Let me see, what do we even have in the potato inventory now? Windows, potatoes. Because honestly, I haven't used many of the potatoes in forever. Let's see, what do we have here? So we have hot potato, rotten potato, lonely potato, juicy potato, rogue potato, sweet potato, and generic potato. Use sweet potato to rule them all. All right, so what is sweet potato? So sweet potato is a collection of various Windows PrivS techniques from service accounts to system. So it was created by Ethical Chaos. So it includes rotten potato, juicy potato, print spoofer, EFSRPC, and petit patam. Okay. You could try that. I hear from a lot of people that the Lantern show will hopefully be good. I hope so too, man. I mean, to be quite honest, I've been so disappointed in a lot of just the various comic book stuff ever since, pretty much, I haven't really found anything that kind of jived with me since Endgame, really. And I liked Endgame a lot, like, so like, I'm hoping to get some fun stuff coming out. You should try Duskers. It's not a hacking game per se, but it's more hackish than anything I know. Okay. Well, let me look that up real quick. What is Duskers? pilot drones into derelict spaceships and find a means to survive and piece together how the universe became a giant graveyard. Oh, that sounds actually kind of cool. All right, I'll have to check that one out. So basically, you control a little bot in a post-apocalyptic space with a command line. Oh, that actually does sound pretty cool. I don't know why you're doing all this tool calling jazz here. Just spin the electric tumblers and unlock it. Get on the path, hackers, mans. I know, right? Let's see. Actually, when you said that, Hats, about using duskers, I was like, oh, cool. Is that like a new potato thing? Let's see. Let's go look at this sweet potato one. Because like I said, honestly, I haven't used many of the potatoes in forever. Let's see. No package. Sad. I don't know how... Oh, damn it. Hold on. If this is an SLN... it actually doesn't look like... I don't know. Collection of these. Dang it. I don't want to go build this. Yo, hey Noom, what's up, man? Let's see. So what do I want to use for this in here? Hold on, there was another one. Rogue potato. Nice. Let's build code from the internet on stream. What could go wrong? I know, right? The Duskers game was built by Misfit Attic, and so the Misfits TV show was pretty fun. I don't know if I ever saw that one. Let's see. I want to use some of these potatoes, but... Centralized potatoes. Let's go look at this real quick. Let's see. So God Potato was a DCOM 1. This was a EFS RPC 1, Print Spooler. Those are all the ones that were mentioned on the other system in here. We also do Hot Potato. Unfortunately, Hot Potato I don't think would work because we don't have web client. If it's using HTTP to SMB relay locally, then I don't think that would quite work. You know what else we could check is... Before we start doing this, a lot of these potatoes, they depend on like which... They depend on like what privileges that we've got. So hang on, let's go do something real quick. Let's do does Who Am I have that option in here? It does not. Okay. So we'll just shell it out. Who am I? Who am I all will give us our permissions that we've got in here. So hold on, maybe we've got a different permission that we can go do with this. What are y'all arguing about with the AI stuff? Hot potatoes. That's right. Let's see. So what do we have in here? So... All right, so for privileges, here we go. This is the part I was actually looking for. So for our enabled privileges, we've got these ones. So we have SE change notify, SE manage volume privilege. We do have the SE impersonate privilege. Okay. And we have SE global privilege. So let's go look and see which one we've got there. Gumby is Supreme Overlord. Now, granted, Gumby also Got to create the rule to said that. Let's see. Which potatoes actually abuse this? Sigma potato? Nice. Oh, wait, hold on. Take this right back to where? Hold on. Generic potato. Generic potato is a modified version of sweet potato to support impersonating authentication over HTTP and or name pipes. Okay. This allows local privilege escalation from an SSRF and or file rights. So it's handy when the user has SE impersonate privileges. System doesn't have the print service running, which prevents sweet potato. I don't even know if we have a print service actually running in there. You don't have outbound RPC to allow any machine you control, and the bit service is disabled or preventing. Let's go try this. Is this another one we got to go compile, though? Damn it all to bloody hell. Wow, this is 5 years old? Damn, I forgot how old the potatoes are. AI says Gumby is, in fact, not the Supreme Overlord. You know what's funny is you're going to go ask the AI that, and they'll be like, they're going to, like, put him on the top of the hit list. It's like, oh, well, he's really the Supreme Overlord. So, is that the Misfits show, Chris? The show follows a group of young offenders sentenced to community service who gain supernatural powers after being caught in a strange electrical storm. Cool. Pretty highly acclaimed. Has an 8.1 on IMDb. I mean, hell, I feel like that's a lot better than most shows these days. Dude, the show I'm really looking forward to right now is Apple TV is supposed to be making a Neuromancer show. I cannot wait for that. Potato. That's right. Potato. Hang on. I was just checking something real quick. Do I have... Let me see. Let me update real fast and then search for a library. Twitch's AI still listens to you even if you disabled it. I went and disabled it, but there's only so much you can do on there, right? Let me see. Let me see if this will actually appear in here. No, nothing like that. Hang on one second. Okay, we should be able to actually do this with mono. So, let me see if I can grab mono real fast. Should have that. And then, let's see. Where am I? Oh, God, no. Let me get out of that. CD to tools. Let me grab this generic potato. That was not what I wanted. Copy. I can't. I've lost track of my windows. There we go. Let's see. Speaking of Windows, man, I'm getting really fed up with Windows. I'm getting ready to bail on it hardcore. All right, generic potato. Okay, so everything we've got in here is... I don't have MS build. Hang on, I'm trying to figure out how to get this to build inside of Kali. Yeah, well, so the the desk you can see right back there, that is actually supposed to be a battle station for SOC. So the TV mount, which you can see right there, the TV mount, I'm going to mount a TV up there. I got to clear out all the junk that's under there. It became kind of like the dumping ground. Anyway, if I can build that into a proper battle station for SOC, I can move a lot of the household stuff that I do on this computer off of it. And then I will have free reign to just kind of do whatever I want. Let's see. Did these not install? Hang on one second. Yeah. I thought I already did it. Hold on. Sudo apt update. Maybe I need a newer version of Kali. This is an older version of Kali in here. Let's see. Let's see. Sudo install NuGet. No install option for NuGet. All right. Well, that sucks because that means I got to go get the .NET installer for Kali. Let's see. chmod plus X. What was that? .NET install. Hold on. Why channel 8? So I've been using Cache for a few weeks now. Granted, still having to do work in Windows, but it's nice after hours. And see, the only thing that I would actually probably honestly maybe dual boot this system because I would want to keep the most minimal bare bones skint version of Windows on here for gaming. So like I said, I am dying to play Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, so that's going to get us the long-term release here. All right, so let's install that. All right, let me set up a couple environment variables here. Modify our path and our home. Let's get those. And then now we should be able to build this. So in here, let me get rid of that .NET installer. And so now we have NuGet. No, we still don't have the NuGet command. The crap. Hang on one second. I'm just trying to figure out how to get this guy to work. So if we go to .NET tools, we got FAll. Let me bring this down here. Give me a little bit extra room to work with. So everything we had was in .NET, and we had .NET tools, but there's nothing in tools directory here. What's in this .store here? .store, frickin' Microsoft, .stage. Oh, so Chris, by the way, what was the thing you were working on for practicing detection methods? So So the buzz, also the buzz for people who want to move to a Linux system is Omarchy. I used Omarchy on, it's not over here. It was an older ThinkPad laptop that I had, and actually it ran pretty well. And I guess they're expanding the support to way older MacBooks. So I have a 2012 MacBook that I might throw it on there and give it a go on that as well. The problem with the ThinkPad is it was a very powerful system. However, it was a big honking heavy cinder block of a computer, and the battery life was like 1 hour. So it barely classified as a portable system. You basically had to take the charger with you everywhere. The old MacBook in its heyday, it might need a new battery, but I could easily get 5 hours of work time on it when it was running Mac. So I would be curious to see how that worked with it. So because I've run a couple of different Linux distros on that 2012 MacBook Pro that I have. The hardware is still really good. I had upgraded the RAM because it was pre-soldered RAM, you know? And I'd be interested to see how it will work with that. Like what if it adjusts the battery life at all. All right, let me try this one more time. Did I screw up? Let me check something real quick. Echo .NET root. Okay, that should be fine. And then let me echo the path real quick. Make sure the path is set up. Yeah, so we have our .NET tools, so that should be good. So the version came through was 6040. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's installed an older version. There has to be a simpler way for this. Hang on one second. I'm looking to see if there's another like pre-compiled version of any of these potatoes in here. Okay, hold on. There's something called dead potato. Let me look at that real quick. Let's see. What is a dead potato? Because trying to compile this stuff on a Linux box is always a pain in the butt. I guess it used to be called maybe God Potato. That's what it says in here. Okay, so this is how to use this. The SE impersonate privilege, which we have, right, enabled in the context. So with Dead Potato, it's possible to achieve maximum privileges on a local system. So the tool will also attempt to start an elevated process running in the context of NT Authority system by using, the NT, damn it, start a running process as system by abusing DCOM's RPCSS flaw and handling OXIDs. God, I knew all the details of that a long time ago. Okay. Can we download it? Oh. Thank you, Jesus. I could just download this sucker. Okay. Let me copy the link here. Let's just go grab a copy of this, and then we will upload it to that machine. Let's see. .NET Potato. Perfect. Okay. So what are the command line options we need for this? Command, new admin, rev, executable. So what do we need to run for this guy? Will that make you a free range hacker? if I'm portable? I don't know. No, it's just I'd prefer to have something. So I showed y'all this. Sorry, hang on. I showed y'all this last time, right? I have made this system here to help me work through all of the video production stuff, and I'm not logged into it, so my bad. But I can access that over my tailnet. So I would like to have a laptop where I can go work on those things somewhere else in the house that is not my tiny office in the corner of the building, right? So I've been trying to get a laptop with a decent battery life back up and working. Oh yeah, Hatch, you did mention that Cashew was made by a Russian guy. So I know from your background you're hella sus on that. Let's see. Did we get all those? Yeah, we did get that. Okay. Hold on, let me back up here. What are the command line options we've got? Example usage. So we could run a command, we could do a basic rev shell, we could execute a payload. Okay, cool. So this is what we want. We want executable, and we'll have it go run our payload that was in there. Excellent. So what's our current working directory? LS? Let me see. Are we still in the app data? Do we still see a.exe? Okay, perfect. We do. Excellent. All right. So what we'll do is we're going to do execute assembly in here. And we're going to do new assembly. And we'll go load up this dead tater. Where is it? Dead potato. Open. And then our option here is going to be exe, and then what do you say? Just whatever it is. So in this case, it was a.exe right here. Let's task that, and let's see what happens. Because if we see it spawn a new callback here, then we know we're Gucci. Or we could have just BTFO'd our callback. No, it's still calling back. Oh, it's uploading. So Mythic or Apollo does upload files in chunks. So it's chunking it right now. So chunk 2 of 5 is currently up there. My iBook battery is done, and I haven't been able to get a new one for years now. So I'm not sure what I'd do with the new OS. Oh, no. I would hope I could maybe still find somebody like in the aftermarket that was putting it up.
Try turning it off and on again.
Well, hopefully we won't have to turn it off and on again, Phil. That's the hope. What's up, dude? Get one of those Toughbook laptops so you can work outdoors when it's heated from a heated bubble bath. Dude, actually, my neighbor does have a hot tub. We joked about I should invite him. I should invite myself over and do like a hot tub stream. I've seen those outdoor hot tubs on Temu. Dude, I'd settle for getting the cold tub fixed right now. I still have not had time to troubleshoot the controller board, and maybe I'll record that just like as a fun video, and put it up on there because one of my good buddies, he is excellent with electronics. He's also like a really awesome car hacker guy, and so I might just have to pack the whole shebang up and take it over to his house. The handle is invalid. What? Okay, hang on. Oh, that's cool. He's got it where you can just copy that over. Nice. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try this again, but we're going to give it like a full path in here. So we'll do that. / here. Task. Let's see what happens. Task. Oh, hold on. It didn't like that because that was a different copy of it. Okay, here we go. So tack.exe here /a.exe. That'll be our payload right there. Maybe it'll work if we give it a full path in there. If nothing else, we could also do a command line run and just have it run a command and run our system right there. Are you talking about cold tubs are popular in northern EU? Dude, it's especially like during the summer when it gets like, you know, swamp ass hot in the office. That cold tub is killer. All right, invalid handle. RIP. All right, let's try something a little bit simpler here. Let's see. Let's do another execute assembly. Let's just see if it's actually going to work. So we'll do command, like, who am I? Let's try that. Run the command and run, yeah. I've seen a Debian version that would work, but everything was really a pain in the butt. And I have a lot of computers. I could run Doom, might as well work on it. If it can run Doom, you can run Linux. The thing that I get is, and it's kind of the running gag, especially around like Omarchy, or Omarque, however you want to say it, whatever. I call it Omarchy, because it's running on Arch. Anyway, is everybody's like, why would you do that? Because this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, I don't necessarily want to go hyper customize my OS and then risk blowing it up, because that's usually what I'm going to do. The one good thing about Windows is it's really hard to like blow up. So what I would like to do is have something that has most of what I need that's not bloated and basically consumer facing like Ubuntu. So yeah, I could go roll Debian. I could go roll all my own changes to it and maintain my own Git repo with all my changes and have a, handy dandy configure script. I don't wanna. I maintain enough stuff already. Let's see. So for some reason, it is not liking dead potato running from here, but this could be an option for like maybe the execute assembly is not doing it. So one other option we've got is we could upload this. So let's do an existing file. Let's upload. This is something new that Cody added. So we could upload, we could go drag and drop a file we want to, or we can upload an existing file. And anything we've got staged in the Mythic server, we could upload. So yes, upload this here and task it. Because then what we could do is we could actually just do a shell command through here, let it go run, and get it on there. Linux kernel 7.1 development begins with x86 changes, removing 486, 486SX, and AMD ELAN CPU support. Ooh. Somebody's probably going to fork that to maintain that. Well, actually, I don't know what they would do with it. I run Doom Eternal on Linux just fine. I wonder if... I doubt, and then, like I said, the game I've been jonesing to play is Cyberpunk 2077. Can you run that on Linux? Let me see. Because that game came out like, what, 6 years ago, I think? 5 years ago? I don't think there was really the big push back when that was being developed. Let's see. Actually, the Proton DB rating for Linux is gold. Ooh. Works through Steam's Proton compatibility layer. Nice. Okay, I would be definitely willing to try that out. Okay, so now we've got dead potato on there. So what we can do is we can run this. So let's do shell here. I'm going to copy the entire path actually. So let's do this. So shell copy. So what we're going to do is we're going to run that. I'm going to drop it in here twice. I'm going to just change that to a.exe to hopefully get our C2 payload up and running. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I really want to. Invalid module. Oh, crap. Because I didn't give it the right... son of a biscuit. Okay. .exe. There we go. Hey, let's go. We now have a system shell. Untabars. Let's go. See that? User, system, nice. So let's interact with this one. Let's sleep it down. Sleep 1, 0. Send it. Excellent. So now, what we should have is, I believe we have... what was the command in here? I think Apollo has a built-in dumper in here. I want to take a dump on this Windows system. Let's see. Let's see. LDAP query. Where is it? Well, we do have Mimikatz in here. So we could go through and just Mimikatz this bad boy. All right, Monkey. Dude, I just saw your message. Have a great night, brother. Thanks for stopping in, man. Always appreciate it. By the way, guys, since I did miss Saturday stream, and I know I've been missing quite a few of them recently, I will be streaming tomorrow night. We'll be on just chilling, hanging out, probably doing more Bitstream, or unless we finish it, which I doubt it. We got an hour left in the stream. But I've been feeling really bad about it. I don't mean to. I usually try to keep a very, very consistent stream schedule. So I will be streaming tomorrow night just to try and make it up to y'all for putting up with all my shenanigans. Okay, let's see what we got in for our Mimikatz. Let's see. So what we want is we want to see if we can get like all of the... Oh, crap, what is it? I gotta remember the command. Let's see. All right. I think what we want to do is privilege debug. Did I spell privilege right? Privilege. I think so. Debug. Add an entry. And then what we want to do is Sokolasa. Log on passwords. Let's see, because I'm willing to bet his password is probably stored in clear text. Unless we need to actually, like, dump it and then go crack it, which would be a pain, but we'll try it out. We'll see what happens. Now, fun fact also, if you decide you ever want to work on Apollo's source code, Mimikatz and Prince Spooler and a whole bunch of other very, let's call them EDR offensive binaries are actually part of the source code repository. So the reason why Apollo can use Mimikatz is because it ships with a copy of Mimikatz as an executable. So if you git clone Apollo's source code down to your machine, chances are you're going to set off every antivirus and EDR on that system very, very quickly. So most games are going to run as long as you got the hardware on Linux, as long as they're not using anti-cheat. Well, I don't see how a single-player game should be using anti-cheat. Although I did see some folks have mods for, like there's a mod for like multiplayer Cyberpunk. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I really want to go do like a stealthy Netrunner build and just be like Hackermans in Cyberpunk. Night City's Hackermans. Let's see. So why did this fail? So privilege debug, we got this error here. It might be that we're just using too old a version also of Mimikatz in here. I think that's probably the issue. So we probably need to go get a fresh copy of it, which I think we already have. Let's see. We look in, let's see. I think it's user share, Windows, binaries. I don't see it in there. Crack maps, Kerberos. Let's see. Install Mimikatz. Let me go grab a copy of it. We'll try the one that's actually... this one actually might be too old also. No, we shouldn't be medium integrity, should we? Let me double check. I mean, we're running a system. I've never seen a system process run as medium integrity. Have you ever seen that, Laughing? I've never seen it. I'm not saying it can happen. I'm saying I've never seen it. Let's see. Let's see. Who am I? Oh, let me double check real quick. If I can find it. Hey, Hamwater, thanks for coming online, man. Welcome in. I hope you were having a fantastic Sunday. Stupendous Sunday. A amazing Sunday. Super Sunday. Oh, okay, you didn't see we were running a system. Gotcha. Yeah, I was saying, I've never seen a medium integrity process run a system. I was about to say, wait, what? You can do that? I didn't even know. I keep trying to alt-tab over to this, and I forgot that I can't. Let's see. Now, where does Mimikatz install? I think it's in... Is it in Windows binaries? Let's see. Oh, no, it's in Windows resources. Let's see. Power exploit. There it is. Mimikatz. Let's see. X64. There we go. Okay, so that's what I want. So let me grab that. Nope, that was not what I wanted. Oh, well, hold on. I got it right here. Let's grab that. Copy. And let's go load that up real quick. Let's do execute PE. This is not an assembly. So what we'll do is we're going to do a new PE. Drop this right here. Ah, damn it. Mimikatz.exe. There we go. Did it select it? Okay, good. It did. Arguments. Crap. What are the arguments I need this? I gotta remember what the command is for Mimikatz. Skill issue, Fekara Timmer. Nah, you're not so fake, man. You're not so fake with that Timmer. Let's see. Hang on, I'm trying to remember what the command is for Mimikatz to run those. Okay, so it is what I thought it was. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna run privilege debug. And then what we'll do is we're going to do Sekurlasa logon passwords. So we'll dump the login passwords from wdigest. That should hopefully get us what we want. And then I think I also need to throw an exit in there. It did not like that. That sucks. Okay. Execute PE. Try a new PE. Mimikatz exe, open. And then just run exit task. Okay, so the execute PE is not working, but that's fine. What we'll do is we'll just upload Mimikatz onto the system. Let's see, where is Mimikatz? Upload, task, and then we'll just run it from disk. Why not? We're not worried about EDR in this situation. I just picked up a double CF disk card that's the size of a drive, so I'm planning on playing with it. Wait, what's a double CF disk? You have to remember, I live in acronym hell. CF can mean so many things. Checking on Peaches. She's asleep. She missed me while I was gone last night. Okay, now we've got it. Okay, so now let's try this again. So shell mimikatz.exe. Actually, I'm going to give it the full file path because I don't want to have any chance of it trying to, like, run something stupid here. Copy. So let's drop that in there. And then... hang on. I actually have the command over here. Let me just copy it. So we want it to run privilege debug and then Sakurlasa login passwords and then exit. So let's try that. Oh, you know what? I think we're still running too old a version of Mimikatz, because look at this. This is from 2022. There's been so many changes to, like, the updated versions of Mimikatz. Hang on. Let's go find it real quick. Wait, that's ParrotSec. No. Go back. I don't know if he even has any releases. Yeah, the latest one he's got is from so long ago. Ah, crap. Let me think. So CF drives act like an IDE. And so one channel of IDE is like compact flash. Oh, okay. Gotcha. We're gonna get the... oh, these are the old versions of Mimikatz, though. Damn it. Okay, you know what? I was trying to do this the fun way, but there's actually... there's a built-in dump function into Dead Potato. So hang on. We'll just use we'll just use Dead Potato to do it, because it will do it. Because I think it has a it's got like a mini dump option in there. What does it have? Actually, hold on, I'll just run it and get the help out of it. There we go. Let's see. So we can run Mini Sam. We could also run Sharpound. Oh, cool. We could run Sharpound. Nice. Okay, fine. We'll just do that. Let's see. Tac, Mini, Sam. So I was hoping to do this. Do you want to proceed? I do want to proceed. Yes. Damn it. It's trying to... okay, so the problem is it's trying to escalate while it's trying to do that. Okay. Kill that. Yep, kill job. Did we get a new version of Mimikatz, though, in here? $11.06. I don't think so. me do this. Let me delete off this. Yes. So what's happening is it is trying to go through and it's trying to do the escalation and the SAM dump. So, I mean, I guess we could just go do it over here. Annoying. All right, fine. Mini dump SAM it. Wait, it didn't run? Oh, it's Mimi. It's not Mini. Mimi Sam. There we go. All right, let me run this again. Because we're just trying to get Bob's password. I'm willing to bet it's probably in clear text in memory. All right, let's see. Now we're talking. All right, cool. So we got all the hashes happening here. Excellent, excellent. We need to know what Bob's RID is for this, though. Let's see. I don't see Bob's password in here. You know what we could do, actually? Hang on. Let's go. Let's open up a file browser as system because we'll have full access to everything. So file browser. Let's go over to users. Bob. All right, do we see anything useful in here? Let's go look at his documents. Maybe his password's just written down. Because I see the output here. Let's see. Domain sequels, local syskey, SAM, RID. Oh, sorry, here it is. User administrator. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't see Bob's password in here. Guest default account. Nope, not seeing it here. I'm working on it, Gumby. Oh, I forgot the arms there. Went and bust it. Hang on one sec, guys. No, I'm not pooping. Let's see. You think Bob's password was in clear text in the database? I mean, we could go check it. We still have access to... where is it? If we're still alive, this session actually may have, like, timed out by now. Yeah, I probably need to restart it. What is it? I'm trying to remember how to list the tables. Let me figure out what that command is. List tables in MSSQL. We can go check the database real quick. All right, so we want to do select star from information schema dot tables. Turns out those conversion cards are just traces and the CF cards are IDE. Good old IDE. See, I don't see any tables in here that are really... You know what I didn't do? Actually, hang on one second. Let's look at something real fast. What we didn't do is list what processes we've got in here. So let's go browsers, process browser. Because maybe Bob's got a browser password. Maybe he's got an active, what is it, session in here that we can go take that from. Nothing came back from this? Really? Or is it still thinking? Oh, it's still thinking right here. So whenever you're actually in Mythic, whenever you're interacting with these file browsers, it's usually tied to a session back here, and it's interacting. So like, for example, every time I was drilling through these files, you saw it say, hey, I'm running ls command on this particular one. So if I go back to callback 2 over here, you see all these ls commands. That's what it was doing, is it was actually issuing those on the callback so they get tracked as a task. And then it's populating the these browsers with that information. Let me take a look at something real quick. So why didn't we get... So what Dead Potato did when we ran this is... Oh, it said a LSA dump SAM. That's what it did. Hang on. Let me look at something real quick. Because it said it should drop Mimikatz to the disk. Is it going to drop it like right here? No, it didn't. Damn it. Okay, so it dropped this random executable to disk. Removing Mimikatz and exiting. Damn it. I know this version works. Hang on, let me try something else real quick. Where was Dead Potato? This was generic potato. Resources. Hey, there we go. Hold on. I can just get his copy of Mimikatz, and then I can run it directly. No, don't do that. Copy link address. Hold on. I'm going to go download that copy. Because that's what I really want. That was what I wanted this whole time. Let's see. I don't think I've got that. Okay. wget download Mimikatz. There we go. I'm going to use that version of Mimikatz. So let's do this. We're going to come over here to this guy. I'm going to try that again. So execute PE. New PE. Let's see. Where's home? Home, tools, and then Mimikatz. There we go. Open that one. Yes. And then what I want to run is I want all those Sakurlasas in there. Copy. I still had a copy of the command over here. Son of a biscuit. Upload existing file. Let's see. How's this going to handle all my different Mimikatzes in here? I'm going to try this one. Try it again. We'll see which one we get. Which one lands on disk. Try select star from database. We can try that. Let's see. Select star from database. Yeah, I didn't think that was the correct syntax for Microsoft SQL, which is what we're running in here. But you know what? I wanted to try it. I can always learn something new. Okay, so we have this new copy of Mimikatz in here. Sad that the execute PE is not working with this. That's all right. We'll just do this. Mimikatz.exe. Okay, so again, we're going to try get our debug privileges, do a complete dump of the login passwords, and then exit. Let's see if that worked. Now, this is still the really old version in here. Hang on, this is actually something really important to know. So let's come over to here. Let's come over to, let's see. Here's files. Location downloads. Where is uploads? Okay, I'm gonna delete all these old copies of Mimikatz out of here. Delete. Every copy of Mimikatz I'm deleting off the server. Okay. Okay, all those should be good. So now, I'm going to try this one more time. Let's see. So let's redo the upload here. So select our file. We want our fresh copy of Mimikatz right here. I should have deleted that file actually before I did that. Just to make absolutely sure. It's stuck because it's chunking the other Mimikatz. It should overwrite it, but I like to make sure. I want to make sure that it actually put the correct copy in there. Let's see here. MD5. I think I can just compare the MD5 sum of it in here. I believe Apollo will let you do that. Extended attributes. Nope, not what I wanted. It doesn't give you that option. Okay, I'm going to delete that, and then I'm going to re-upload it. Because I want to make darn sure that's going to work. Because I know we have the correct copy in Mythic now. There we go. I just want to make sure it drops the correct one on the disk there. Someone comes in spouting gibberish in, I don't know what language that is. And the AI mod just BTFO'd them. Nice. All right, let's get Bob's hash. This is taking way too long. That may have been German. Let me see. Yeah, that was a spammer, Gumby. Okay. Let's try this again. All right. Shell, Mimikatz, run. Damn it, it's still doing the same thing. Hang on. Which version does it show in the dump here whenever we did that? Okay, actually, it did. It showed February 29, 2020. Okay, so the problem is, I think it's what we're using, right? So this is doing an LSA SAM dump, right? And not a login passwords, right? So that's probably the issue here, is that that function is possibly not working. Although this one, the privilege debug worked.
So files are big. It takes like 50 megabytes.
Let me see something real quick.
Minutes of audio. But if we delete everything that the brain can't hear, we can make the files much smaller. Your brain is what processes all the stuff that you get through your ears.
That wasn't German? Oh, okay. I thought it might have been German in there. Oh, it's just somebody spamming anyway.
And then you're into dog whistle range, and then afterwards all kinds of crazy stuff. And outside of that, you can't really hear anything. But inside of
Let me
that,
try something else real quick. This is what kills me about Mimikatz in here.
one of the first things I'm going to demonstrate is called the missing fundamental. So all sounds are made up of sine waves, and there's a fundamental one that gives you the pitch, and then some other ones. And essentially what happens is...
Was I misspelling it or something? Module? Yeah, debug.
all the rest of them, your brain actually will fill in the fundamental pitch for you through your ears. Through your ears.
Oh, no, it's because I typed the command in wrong. Here we go. It needs an explicit space between it to know what to run.
Your brain
Damn it. I never thought Mimikatz would give me such a pain in the butt. That's wild. So why is this one failing when I know for a fact it's the same version of Mimikatz that was on here?
you would think that you would hear a different thing, but you don't. Now this one, and I'm going to show you what this is. It seems really simple. You hear things that happen in the world. Air vibrates.
Hang on, I want to try something real quick. In the Mimikatz command, if I do privilege debug, I just want to test this real quick. I want to see what happens. Hang on one sec, guys. A wild sock has appeared.
Continuously rising pitch. Here, and I'm going to show you what this is.
Spread your wings out, 'cause we'll fly away. While the stars keep raining down on us. I'll take your hands and close my eyes. It's just a dream, it's just a dream. If you wish to wake up.
I'm tripping over everything.
One of the cool things your brain can do is
Knocking stuff over.
thing that's
I'm back.
kind of funny is
I'm back.
tinnitus. If you have hearing damage,
Guess who's
eventually
back?
you're ringing in the same frequency
Back
as
again.
the damage is in. So
Blaise is back with some tea. Sock made me tea. She's awesome. I can't rap. Do.
in that hole. You also, your brain really likes to react to things.
Oh, damn it. I typed it in wrong.
Audio range is the human voice.
Freaking Mimikatz syntax is the bane of my existence. Not really, but it's annoying.
That sounds like it's continually going
Yeah, no,
down.
Sock would not bring me tea or coffee this late at night. Rels, because she actually wants me to go to sleep and she complains I don't sleep enough. But she will bring me some, like, I don't think it's herbal tea. It's like, it might sound weird. It's like mushroom tea.
It has a hole in the middle, so it actually stops.
It's got stuff like lion's mane, chaga, cordyceps. Yeah, exactly, Cypher. This is so wild. I don't get why... I don't get why Mimikatz is failing like this. Hang on.
It's actually pretty crazy.
I know there's a better way to dump this. There's a much better way to do this. Let me see if I can find something real quick.
It's just a dream, it's just a dream. If you wish to wake up, switching the lock on the door, like a portal to another world. It's like a ship on the air, on its journey to the sun.
I've had it be weird and I just chain all the commands together. That's actually what I was trying to figure out because, so when we looked at this, here's the weirdness to it, right? So if we come back to our low priv callback, right? When we ran Dead Potato and we had it do a Mimikatz Sam dump, okay, yeah, it came through, dumped it onto disk, went from upgrading here to system, and we're already running a system, right? It does a privilege debug, and this is the same version we're running, right? This one, this Feb 29, 2020 build. Privilege debug, okay. LSA dump SAM, okay. It works just fine. I was like, okay, cool. Well, what sucks is after it does this, it removes Mimikatz off of here. So I don't get what the difference is in like what it's doing. And we're using the same version of Mimikatz that was in the GitHub repository. So why is it failing over here? It's brutal.
You have sounds will just hide other sounds.
Shroom tea is breaking the definition of tea. Shrooms have no leaves. I mean, technically tea is a soup, right? You're taking a vegetable and putting hot water into it, and then it's no longer just water, right? It's a suspension.
And those kind of things all get combined into things like MP3 and the sounds. So.
Yes, the tea is actually fungus soup. That's right. Try LSA dump, LSA inject. Well, we could try that. That's right. Hey, Alex, what's up, man? Fungus soup. I am willing to try that, Cypher. We'll see what happens. We might actually even, you know what? We might not even need the privilege debug because we should have all the privileges that we need. Hold on. What was the command that Dead Potato ran? Was LSA dump SAM. I'm going to try something real quick. LSA dump. I'm typing very slow because I want to make sure I get it right. SAM. It's probably going to give that same error handle. Kill that one. Oh, well, it already finished, apparently. Oh, wait, that's using the Mimikatz command. Which I think, which version is this? So this is the 2021 version. The one we were running over here was a 2020 version. So the version that Cody bundled with Apollo is actually the newer version. Okay, so for some reason, just the privilege debug was just causing it to absolutely, like, crap itself. So hold on. So now if I just try Sekurlasa, log on passwords, without the debug, will it work? Tea as a soup, he says. Maybe in North Korea. I think y'all have all probably seen this, where the stories of essentially North Korean kind of like IT spies working through and getting hired like on these remote job works. I'm trying to think, these remote positions for like IT and companies, and part of that is now as okay, crap, that one crapped out on me. Damn it. So part of what people have started doing during their interviews is like, hey, could you just, say something about Kim Jong-un or whoever, is it Kim Jong-il? I forget whoever glorious leader is now. But could you just say something derogatory about him and see if they actually go through with it? SQL map it. Are you sure? I don't know if it's actually in the database though, because what they're asking for here is what's Bob's password, right? Okay, I'm going to request a hint because I want to settle this once and for all. Is it actually in the LSA memory, or is it in the SQL database? I don't think it's in the SQL database. Okay, well, actually, this is good because it doesn't tell me anything specific. But when it says attacking, go through the free guided session for attacking LSAS, that right there tells me it's not going to be in the database. So good, I'm on the right track at least. Let's see here. This is why I need to go. I honestly need to go get my own toolkit set up. I'm very, very spoiled at work. So at work, we have an entire CI/CD pipeline that prepares a whole bunch of testing artifacts for us, like from the get-go. And I have just leaned on that crutch for far too long. I need to go get my own setup. Because there's a lot of different tools and buffs that I would like to go have, like already on standby for this kind of event. I need to get that. I need to go build my own. If you build it, they will pwn. It's magical how these commie state programs or program their people so they can't even lie about these things. We have the same-ish kind of test for Russians. Just ask them, who does Crimea belong to? That's funny. Yeah. No, it's not LS-ass. It's LSAS. Although now that you say that, Gumby, I'm going to think of it as just like, yeah, I'm going to LS-ass. So wild that is... Hang on, let me look at something real quick. We can actually go look at this metadata. I probably should have done this from the get-go. Let's see. If we look at metadata for this call, it will actually tell us like which version we're running. So we're running Windows Server 2025 Data Center here. So... yeah, LSS. So that would explain why Mimikatz isn't working, because as they go through and they change some of these things, Gentle Kiwi and other contributors, they have to go through and modify Mimikatz to handle the different data structures, because the data structures will migrate between versions. So... that's not even a joke. It's a real question we ask at the border. Oh, damn, that's... I mean, I get that it's not a joke, but I still find it hilarious. Let's see. Okay, that's wild. Hang on one second. Let's see. Let me check something real quick. Because there's a weird issue coming back in here. Because let's go look at the metadata here real fast. So if we look at the metadata, what we're seeing here is because it's weird that it says Server 2025 Data Center 2009. And this build number here, hang on. Let me go look at something real quick. That doesn't look like the right build number for Server 2025. Now, chances are there's probably like some lab shenanigans going on here. So I'm curious like what this is. Yeah, so the build number actually matches. Do we have the build number? We don't have the build number in here. Oh, okay, that worried me for a second. I think I might have found a visual bug. So the last check in here is basically should be instantaneous because we set the sleep time to like 1, right? So if we go to view metadata in here, this last check in here, okay, I do need to let Cody know about this because I saw this start ticking up. I was like, oh crap, our shell died. I need to go let Cody know that when you view the metadata for the callback, for some reason it's not updating on here. There's probably about 1 million of them evacuating Crimea right now. Yeah. I bet that whole thing has gone on way longer than anybody expected. Okay. So the server version is weird. Hang on, let's do a little bit of PowerShelling in here. Well, not PowerShell, just I want to get like a definitive answer of like which version of Windows we're actually running in here. Okay. Let's see. That more carefully matches up to like Windows 11. Oh no, my bad. So I'm looking at this right here. This is the actual build number, 26100. So that actually does match up to server 2025. Okay. So we are running 2025. So now the question is... No, go away. I actually wonder if I could run this as this BOF. Well, actually, trying to run this as this BOF would actually be a real pain in the butt. $220919. So, hang on, let me double check something real quick. Which version is Cody running in here? Okay, let me see. I think there's a newer version of Mimikatz I can go download. All right, hang on one second. Let me get this different version of Les Mimikatz. What did it download as? Did it not download? What? Oh, it should be in here. Oh, there it is. I'm just blind. Control C. Hang on. Let me move this stuff around real quick. Run Mimikatz Trump zip into the Mimikatz directory. CD over there, and then now let me unzip it. There we go. So now, hopefully this version, which is, I think, the latest release on... Well, this is the September 19, 2022 release. Hopefully it will work with Server 2025. We're going to try it out. Let's see. Let's come back over here. Let's go over to our hosted files. Or actually, this would be in uploads. So, Mimikatz, all of these, delete. There we go. Let's get those out of there, and then let's go get this latest version up here. Hang on. Just give a nonsensical answer like Singapore. Okay, let me wipe the one off of disk. Let's get rid of that. And then let's do a new upload here. So we're going to go to Tools, Mimikatz, x64, mimikatz.exe, open, task, upload. Mimikatz is being used by another process. Ah, damn it. Hang on, kill. Okay, hang on. I gotta RM it now. I forgot that it was being held open. And then I gotta re-upload it. Hey, Reflection, what's up, dude? Do you have a stream schedule? You pretty much stream whatever you want to. Typically, I will be streaming Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Last night, unfortunately, I had to skip it to go check on my mom. My brother was out of town, and we needed somebody to go look at, check in on her. So I was like, yeah, no problem, I'll go do it. So unfortunately, I did miss last night. But usually, yeah, we're doing Saturday and Sundays, some kind of hacker shenanigans. And then Wednesday nights, we're doing hacker news. So going through and checking and look at the news for the week, see if there's really anything super interesting that's come up. New exploit techniques, hopefully. That would be my favorite. All right, there's Mimikatz. So let's delete that off disk. And then we'll go upload the new version here. Let's see. Do we already have Mimikatz in here? We do. Okay. Task. Upload. Wait, does it say it's still being used? Son of a biscuit. Is it being used over here? Did I leave a process running? Kill that. Nothing should be holding that file open right now. Okay, kill that. For some reason, the PS command just hung forever. What is this one? Failed to kill job. Oh, geez. What is happening? All right, let's do this. We're just going to spawn a new callback. I'm going to kill this callback. I'll leave it up for now. Let's see. Let's come over here to callback 3. And then we'll just start fresh. Actually, no, I am going to kill this callback. Exit. We'll let that callback die and disappear into the ether. There we go. And then now, let's see if we can get rid of it. Because any remaining open handles that it should have had in there should be gone. All right. Delete. Confirm. Error. Damn it! Do we have a move command? We do. Move? Crap. I can't move it if it's not going to work either. Okay, fine. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do another upload, and we'll just call it something different. Upload Mimikatz. We're going to call this Mimikatz 2. There we go. Let's get a new copy in there. Let's see. Vampires don't really care about the date on a calendar, don't they? I'm not really a vampire. About as far... Well, I don't know. I am kind of pale. Actually, it's kind of annoying because I'm not actually that pale, but I can't figure out a good way to, without blowing out some of the colors, to like get any kind of skin tone coming through right here. I mean, you can see it here. Hang on. If I take my watch off, you can see the difference, right? But like when I look at it, oh, I guess under the studio lights, it's not really that different. But anyway, watch is dead anyway. Need to charge it. Okay, we now have a Mimikatz 2. So what I want to do is we grab this. We're going to give it the full path here again. If I could copy. There we go, copy. Okay, here's what we're going to try. We're going to try this again. So shell, drop that in there. And what I want it to run is, I want it to run... Let's do a sanity check. Log in. No, what is it? Crap, what was that other one? Close that. Close that. What was that last command we ran in here? Just the privilege debug, yeah. LSA dump SAM, that's what it was. Okay, so let me try that. I'm going to try that as a sanity check. So LSA dump SAM. Doesn't get us what we want, but I just want to see if it's going to work. Bounce the lights off the wall rather than you. If I do that cipher, though, it's not going to provide enough light for the camera. So the one downside to the new 4K camera is the aperture is a lot smaller, so it lets in a lot less light. So while the lighting was adequate for the 1080p camera, it needed basically about 4 times as much light to get the new one going. I can see your screen in your forehead. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, man. Okay, so this worked, right? Good. Excellent. Okay, so that works. So now what we're going to try is we're going to try Securlasa. Log on passwords. We'll see if this one will work. Oh, I didn't tell it to exit, so I got to kill that job. Did I hose up this callback as well by not putting the exit command in there? I bet I did. That's what I did. I spawned a whole new callback for just this scenario. Damn it. Damn it all. Yeah, I hosed it. I hosed it. Die already. Kill. Crap. All right, fine. Exit. One more time. Oh, I exited too soon. Damn it, it was working. Son of a biscuit. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Everything is fine. This is fine. I don't think it's the whole lab in here. And by the time I got the lab back up, you have to go through this whole song and dance again. Okay, hang on. So shell. So I want to do Securlasa. Log on passwords. And then exit. There we go. Ah, crap. I didn't sleep it down. I hit a thing. I knocked down the microphone arm. There we go. I knew I was going to do that too because I talk with my hands a lot. I knew I was going to bang into the microphone arm. Okay, do we get... Damn it, we're still getting that same issue. Son of a biscuit. The lab is still online because if the lab had shut down, Gumby, then these callbacks would not be firing in here. I don't think it needs a reboot. So there has to be something in here that is probably messing with this a little bit. Let me check something real quick. Oh, you know what actually could be happening here is LSAS could be running as PPL. I didn't even think about that. Okay, hang on. Let me check something real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to check and see if we're running LSAS as PPL. That's process protected light. And if that's the case, we have to take a completely different approach for this. Dumping the SAM is different because the SAM is basically reading files off disk and decrypting them. But if we're trying to actually dump the LSAS memory and it's running as PPL, then it's running in this kind of like secure enclave process that should in theory not be dumpable, but in actuality it kind of is. So let me double check this real quick. Let's see. Okay, so we're not running as PPL. Could be running Credential Guard. Let's try that. Credential Guard would be something a little bit differently in there. Let me try one more thing. Do we actually need our debug privileges in here? Shell, who am I? All. We should already have debug privileges, I think, running as system, but maybe not. Maybe we actually need to get the debug privileges. This reg query takes forever. There's a built-in reg query command in Apollo we could potentially also use, but I always forget how to use it. Let's see, what is it? Reg query? Yeah. It's this string right here that I'm never quite sure exactly what to give it. Okay, what did this come back with? So we're not running... Weird. Okay, so we're not running PPL. We're not running Credential Guard. So I wonder what's causing it to go crazy on here. Let me try something else real quick. So I'm going to try running Mimikatz again. But I'm going to take out the secret. I'm going to try this again real quick. So privilege debug. Why is this one taking so long? This is a little bit wild. There it goes. Okay, what privileges do we already have the debug privilege? That's what I'm checking. Okay, so we don't. That's part of the problem of what we need in here. So I'm going to try this again real quick. I'm going to try and get the debug privilege and then just exit out of Mimikatz. Because if we can get the debug privilege, then... Oh, this system is not happy. It's like, you're doing stuff. I don't like it. Okay, there it goes. It finally finished, so now it should be able to run the Mimikatz command. Hang on, I'm just waiting for this because this should work. So if we can privilege debug, then in theory we should be able to combine those two together. But I think there's something on the box that's probably messing with it. So we've double checked the operating system version. The version of Mimikatz that we're trying to target it with should be able to read 2025. Okay. This system is just not happy with us right now. Hang on. I'm going to drop this right here. There we go. Privilege debug. So now it should debug and get our start debug privilege. It looked like it worked okay. And then dump the login passwords. So if this doesn't work, then there's something on the system that is confounding the situation. Being caught in the network. I know, right? They're tracing me right now. Harry Dresden's characterizations of vampires were the best explanation in the book. Dude, I don't remember the vampires in the Dresden books. I'm a book behind. I know he just released one. I think it was called 12 Months Later, the latest Dresden Files book. I have not taken a look at it. So I'll probably read that after I finish the Sprawl trilogy. I'm a little more than halfway through Count Zero. Then there's one more book after that. Mona Lisa Overdrive. That's the next one. So once I get through that one, then I'm going to have to take a look at it. Is it me or does the codex have no search? How do you find a chat you did a while ago? I thought codex did. Are you talking about like codex in the CLI or codex in the UI? Because the UI I know has a search. The CLI I don't think so, because the CLI is meant for like individual instances, whereas the GUI is meant to manage like multiple instances across different sessions. In the UI, I thought it did, hats. Okay, so there's definitely, so we are getting the privilege debug, but there's something in there messing with dumping the Let me try one more thing here. Let me try a little bit of PowerShell. Let's see what's up. It's find, not search. Oh, because search would make sense. That's why they didn't use that. That would have made too much sense. Now, let's try a little PowerShell action here. Because there's something on this system, and I want to know what it is, that is causing it. There's something on the system that's causing it to where it can't get a proper, looks like it can't get a proper handle over to the LSASS memory. And so I want to know what that is. Hang on, I just had another idea. Because if we need something for, there's another option here. Bob's password could have been set in the registry as like an auto login. So I'm checking to see where that is real quick. Okay, I think this is it. Copy. Let me try something real quick. Let's try the reg query that's built into Apollo real fast. So we're going to look in the HKLM, the local machine hive, in here. And then I think this is the one we want to check when login. Let's see if I got this correct, because I'm never quite sure which syntax it wants in here. Okay. I think I take this out. So I'm not seeing anything in there. Let me try it with regular reg query real quick. Let's see. Reg query. And then, let's see. Here's the path for when login. I'm going to double check this real quick. Oh, to make sure. I always like to double check like what the custom tools are telling me versus like the built-in system tools. And since this is a lab, we can definitely do that. Thought I heard Sock knocking on the door behind me. Dude, this system is, for some reason, like just chug-a-lugging along. It was pretty snappy and responsive in the beginning. We probably left some like random handles open whenever we killed the other two system processes that has made it like not happy. Hey, Peaches. Who's a good girl? Come on, Reg Query. Anytime now. Anytime. I mean, the built-in registry query from Apollo came back real quick. I don't know why the shell spawn is having such a hard time. 12-hour stream? God, no. I have to work in the morning. I have to actually use my brain. So yeah, funny story. I had a sync meeting with my client. I'm doing basically some research for them and developing some custom stuff for them. And I showed them what I was working on, and their exact response were, "This is amazing. We love this. We want to get this over to this other team because they're going to get the most use out of it. But that's not what we wanted you to build, and here's what we actually need you to build." I'm like, okay, that was a lot of whiplash. Thank you. So I'm going through and like completely redoing what I'm crafting for them right now. So yeah, I've got to make up some ground because it was 2 weeks to develop the system I thought they wanted that they didn't want. Okay, so this actually came back with a decent amount in here. Let's see. So the one I'm actually looking for is something like default username. Hey, there we go. Default username, Bob. Default password, Pokemon. Cool. So we did find Bob's password in here. Hey, at the buzzer. Okay. So hold on. What is Bob's password? Ta-da! Nice. Nice. Okay. Now, a lot of people say, well, we don't have his hash, but dude, if we have his password, then we've got his hash in there. So, awesome. Okay. That took way longer than I would have thought it would because I was hoping to get it in there. Hang on, I want to check one more thing. Let me check something else real fast. I'm going to try it with the built-in reg query. Hang on, Peaches. Yes, I'll let you out before bedtime. So from HKLM, I want to try this one real quick. I want to double check the W digest and see if this one comes back. Put it in the notes. Oh, thank you. Yes, actually, we do want to put that in our notey notes down here. Okay. Captured Bob's password. Pokemon. It'd be funny if the user's name was Ash or something. Okay, so reg query is acting pretty funky here. So I really want to see this work though. So hold on, I'm going to let it chill for just a second. Because what we should have seen was we should have seen a value in there of use login credential with a type of D word. Am I just doing something wrong in that? Let me run reg query one more time. Hang on. I'm going to try one more thing in here. Like, maybe if I put a trailing slash to it, it will... Okay, no, that one was... It hated that. Okay. I'll have to ask Cody what's up with reg query. Hold on. I had two things here that I needed to ask him about. Let me see. What do we have? We had, let's see. So for Apollo, that's right. Apollo reg query. And then also Apollo metadata shows last login time. But doesn't sync with new colons. I'm messaging Cody real fast. Just kept incrementing, made me freak out thinking my callback died. Let's see. This thing is still processing? Damn. Hang on. I want to double check something real quick for Cody because he is constantly working on this. All right, so the version of Apollo we are running. That's not it. Which version is this? 252. Okay. Yes, thank you, Gumby. Thank you, Lyco. Thank you very much. Let's see. Did that reg query finally finish? Okay, let me see. Let's see. So for our W digest, we see debug level, negotiate, UTF, digest encryption values, triple des RC4. So actually, I don't see use login credential listed here. So that means it shouldn't have been stored in LSAS anyway. So not a big deal. Okay, cool. Finally got a little bit of the mystery sorted out. I still am not sure how that dumping of the LSAS was being blocked. And that bugs me. I'm very curious about that. I'll have to do a little bit more digging into that. But not tonight. We got to go find somebody to raid out to. Let's see. I messaged GoPro. Hey, he fixed it. Awesome. I messaged GoPro. I was like, hey man, InfoSec Streams is down. Can you fix it? Cool, he did. Awesome. And Shy Hat's on. Perfect. We're going to go right over to Shy Hat. So let me get that set up. All right, everyone. Yes, y'all have a fantastic night. We'll go ahead and bring up the end stream here. A lot of fun. There we go. We kicked that started off right there. So everyone had a lot of fun. A part of understanding security work is sometimes things get weird and you got to find interesting workarounds. So we did finally get Bob's password. I should have probably checked there. I probably should have checked there earlier, but at the same time, that's a really old school technique. You don't see it typically a lot. These guys, I can't talk. I can't. I'm just going to give up now. You don't really see it a lot this day and age, but it was pretty cool to see. Everyone, y'all have a fantastic week. If it's already Monday, Crushing It mode's in effect. Otherwise, your Crushing It mode starts in just a few short hours. Y'all have a fantastic week. I will catch y'all Wednesday. I'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I will be streaming as a as a mea culpa for having missed so many streams recently. I'm very sorry about that. We'll keep messing around on Bitstream, having some fun with it. We'll move on from this machine. We'll see what Bob has access to. And then I'll see you then on Wednesday night for Hacker News. So you guys have a fantastic week. I want y'all to remember one very important thing, and I mean this, and that is I love you. Peace.